So we started with the easiest, and now it's time to do the hardest. Konnichiwa, my Otakus, I'm the Gaming Otaku, and welcome to Sniper Parts for Noobs, the second installment in the Borderlands Weapon Parts for Noobs series. For this video, I was torn between assault rifles or sniper rifles, since I still to this day struggle with both of them. But thanks to everyone over on Twitter, follow if you're not already, snipers were voted as the hardest parts to learn. And for those wanting to learn SMG parts as well, that haven't already, feel free to check out my previous video where I went over SMG parts and how to identify them. With that being said, let's begin. So as I mentioned in the last video, each manufacturer has their own unique style that stays consistent throughout all gun types. And thanks to this being the second video in the series, we will begin to see these styles more effectively. The manufacturers that produce sniper parts are Hyperion, Maliwan, Dahl, Jacobs, and Vladoff. Reviewing the ones we've already gone over, Hyperion likes to keep things slick and clean. Dahl is more modern and similar to gun parts we'd see in the real world today. And with Maliwan, in the last video I said they like to add curvature, but that seemed a little too vague. So a better way to describe Maliwan's look is that they like to add just odd shapes in general, and will usually add flashy lights to show the element of the gun. And then for the two manufacturers we haven't covered yet, Jacobs looks more like classic gun parts that you'd see on older guns in the real world. And Vladoff, I can only describe them as another version of Bandit, but rather than the junk screwed and bolted together that you would usually get from a Bandit gun, you'll get more refined junk constructed together by someone with a little more brain power than a Bandit. And I put a lot of emphasis on a little more. Starting with barrels, let it be known that a matching barrel to a gun manufacturer provides additional weapon damage. To start, a Hyperion barrel increases accuracy and recoil reduction, and decreases weapon damage and mag size. This barrel is just about entirely exposed, but is partially covered by a slick, speckled metal plate on top. Then a Jacobs barrel increases damage and accuracy, but decreases fire rate and recoil reduction. And just like a Hyperion barrel, the Jacobs barrel is partially covered, but instead of being covered on top like the Hyperion barrel, this barrel is covered on the bottom. Moving forward, a Maliwan barrel increases accuracy and elemental effect chance. And the tip of this barrel is going to be very rectangular when looking at it from the side. However, another way to know that it's Maliwan will be the glowing lights here that will be glowing the color of the gun's element. A Dahl barrel increases recoil reduction and provides faster recoil recovery, but decreases damage. And this barrel is also going to be very rectangular, but at the end, it will have the barrel sticking out. And then to finish, a Vladoff barrel increases fire rate and mag size. And this is probably the most obvious barrel due to it being the only one that has two barrels, both of which will spin when the gun is fired, which is essentially Vladoff's style with all of their barrels. Moving on to grips, if the grip matches the manufacturer, then the weapon gains bonus reload speed and mag size. A Hyperion grip will provide increased accuracy and faster recoil recovery, while also decreasing weapon damage. This is the most obvious sniper grip due to it being the only grip with a piece wrapping down to the bottom of the grip. However, the way I like to identify this grip is this little nub here that is also on the Hyperion pistol and SMG grips. Then a Vladoff grip increases fire rate but decreases damage and slows recoil recovery. This is a very bland grip that makes it stand out from the next three. However, a good way to identify this one is the little lip that slants downward. Moving forward, a Dahl grip increases recoil reduction and provides faster recoil recovery while also decreasing weapon damage. This grip, like the Vladoff grip, also has a lip. But rather than one lip, it has two lips, and they're both slanted up rather than down. However, if that doesn't help you identify this grip, another good way is that the Dahl grip also has the bottom of the mag sticking out. Then, a Maliwan grip only increases elemental effect chance and looks fairly similar to the Dahl grip. However, the Maliwan grip is a lot more smooth than the Dahl grip and has a lot more curvature, whereas the Dahl grip is fairly straight on all of its sides. Then to finish, a Jacobs grip increases weapon damage but decreases fire rate, reload speed, and recoil reduction. And this grip will have a more metallic look to it and has two screws on it right here. Stocks are, in my opinion, the easiest parts amongst the sniper parts due to a few of them looking similar to other gun stocks. To start, a Hyperion stock will increase accuracy and give faster recoil recovery. And the quickest way to identify this would be the sizable hole in the middle of the stock. However, if you already know what a Hyperion SMG stock looks like, then you'll be able to tell that they look fairly similar to each other. Moving forward, a Maliwan stock only increases accuracy and, like the Hyperion stock, looks fairly similar to its SMG counterpart. However, if you don't already know what the Maliwan SMG stock looks like, then the best way to identify this stock would be the fact that it slants up into this big rectangle piece at the end. Moving forward, a doll stock increases recoil reduction and gives faster recoil recovery, but decreases accuracy. And this stock is fairly straight on the top and the bottom, and branches off into what I can only describe as the boot at the end. This stock resembles an SMG stock as well, but instead of it resembling its doll counterpart, I feel like it more resembles the Tediore SMG stock. Then a Jacob stock increases accuracy but decreases recoil reduction and slows recoil recovery. This stock looks very old-fashioned and also is the only one that completely branches off the back of the grip instead of the back of the gun. And to finish, a Vladov stock gives faster recoil recovery but decreases recoil reduction. And the easiest way to tell this stock from the others is this long thin pipe branching up from the back of the grip. So in the SMG video, we identified scopes by aiming down sights due to it being the easiest way to tell them apart. However, for this, that wouldn't help at all. So we will look at the scopes themselves this time. The only thing scopes change is the field of view when zoomed in, so it really all comes down to which one you prefer. For a Hyperion scope, it will have a couple layers of metal overlapping each other. However, a good way to remember this one would be that the lens is in the shape of an octagon. A Maliwan scope will be very smooth and curved, and it also will have flashy lights that will glow the color of your element. Also, the lens will be very techy and in the shape of a hexagon. This doll scope looks like your typical sniper scope you would probably see on a sniper today. The best way to tell this one apart from the rest would probably be this little piece on top. A Jacob scope, once again, looks very old-fashioned and will have this little wheel that, though you can't actually do it, looks like you could use it to get different fields of view. And then a Vladov scope will have this big obnoxious bulb on the end you look through. Next are the accessories and prefixes, which, as I said in the SMG video, go hand in hand since the accessory will determine your prefix. Keep in mind there is the possibility you won't get an accessory, so most of the time you won't have a prefix. However, certain guns will still have prefixes, and that all just depends on the gun itself. Starting with the blade, which is probably the easiest one to spot, this gives increased melee damage and comes with the Cartel, Contingent, Tacope, Subline, and Britva prefixes. The next two are bipods, so starting with the flatter, darker one, this increases accuracy and decreases recoil reduction and provides the Surgical, Longitudinal, Sai, Dandy, and Zammerchat prefixes. Then for the rounder, brighter bipod, this provides increased crit damage and accuracy, but decreases recoil reduction, and comes with the Knight, Venture, Tum Tum, Gentleman's, and Razrez prefixes. The next one looks like a second grip that is attached in the middle of the barrel. This accessory increases recoil reduction and provides the Liquid, Cohesion, Chickaman, Fashionable, and Dobby prefixes. Then the final three are all attached to the scope, and starting with the box-like accessory, this increases mag size but decreases reload speed and gives the Operational, Resource, Hue, Monstrous, and Bullshit prefixes. Then the accessory with the two big bolts sticking out of the top of the scope. This increases fire rate but decreases weapon damage and comes with the Suppressive, Operational, Kluk, Banbury, and Scory prefixes. Then finally, the visor-like piece stretching out over the front of the scope comes with increased weapon damage but decreases recoil reduction, and this provides the Pacifying, Auditing, Skookum, Barking, and Gromke prefixes. Now before we continue, yes, I'm well aware I said operational twice for two different prefixes. And no, this wasn't a mistake. I did the research on numerous wikis and websites. This was an actual thing Gearbox did for some reason. However, just kind of keep in mind, if you get the operational prefix on a doll sniper, then you have the box-like accessory. And if you get it on a Hyperion sniper, you have the two big bolts. I just wanted to get that out of the way to remove any confusion you all might have. And with that, that's the end of the video. I hope this tutorial was helpful to everyone trying to learn sniper parts. Also in the comments below, let me know if this video helped you out and which weapon parts you'd like to see next. Any and all feedback is definitely appreciated. And if you're not already, hit that subscribe and bell button to help support the channel and for more Gaming Otaku content. But with that, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.